Hey everybody, this is John for MTG Nexus, playing a little bit of Heliod Ballista combo in Pioneer, as this deck narrowly won the poll between Walking Ballista combo or Heliod Ballista combo, Bant Spirits, and Dimir Inverter in Pioneer for our Pioneer deck of the week. As a friendly reminder, if you like what you're seeing on the channel, please consider subscribing, giving us a thumbs up, leaving a constructive comment down below. And so, Heliod Ballista combo won the poll, but I decided to find the build that I find most interesting. Obviously, there's the mono white build, which has been popularized by Yama Killer and a lot of others. This particular one has been piloted a lot by McWinsauce when he plays Pioneer. It's a little bit of a spin on a classical favorite. Small blue splash for things like Dragon Lord Ojutai, Fairy Time Rattler, Spell Queller, Mystical Dispute. Basically, it gives you access to counter spells and some other sources of card advantage in kind of longer, grindier games, with a small splash with things like Irrigated Farmland and Glacial Fortress and Hallowed Fountain, and a little bit down on the number of Nykthoses in the deck. The core of the deck is a white devotion deck based around Heliod Suncrowned, which obviously whenever you gain life can put +1/+1 counter on creatures. It pairs with Walking Ballista to be able to end the game, kind of punk people out. And then beyond that, it uses things like Gideon of the Trials, Gideon Allies, Zendikar, and Teferi to kind of mop up the game in the mid-range. And then you're using things like Knight of the White Orchid to accelerate your mana, Threat Inspector to draw some cards, Daxos to gain some life as another way to trigger Heliod along with Anafenza. Then you have some token removal spells in the form of things like Baffling End, Stasis Snare, Teferi, and Elspeth Conquers Death. So you're kind of a white-based mid-range deck that's trying to assemble this combo, but also has this kind of like mid-range value beatdown plan. Sideboard, a lot of the same things, some tools for the grindier matchups. You got some Baffling Ends here for some more removal when you need some more removal in the format. You have things like also Stasis Snare and Elspeth Conquers Death, much the same vein. Rest in Pieces for both the Breach combo and the Dimir Inverter decks, although the Rest in Peace is a little bit worse without the Gideon's Intervention that some of the versions are running, specifically the ones that Yama Killer is running. Basically, you can play Rest in Peace and then play Gideon's Intervention on Inverter, which keeps them from being able to combo. And Deicide, pretty good against any of the gods that are being run around, specifically Heliod, but obviously some of the other ones have popped up here and there. Devout Decree, pretty good in some spots, and then Mystical Dispute, which is pretty good in the kind of Dimir Inverter matchups, as well as against control decks. Gideon Ally, Zendikar, and Teferi when you're playing some more grindy matchups, and Dovin's Veto when you need some more counter spells. So basically this version is giving up a little bit of consistency for a little bit more power and utility, so we'll see how that plays out in this league.
We are back for match number 1 with white-blue devotion. Sounds interesting. I think we keep it, but this hand is definitely interesting. I think we lead on plains. The ability to potentially cycle Irrigated Farmland at some point. So Knights. Good night, huh? Just take the opportunity to run a Ballista on one. Presume we're going to be killing this Venerable Knight. To avoid this knight meaning anything right now. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to be playing this game from here. It's possible I was actually supposed to leave up Spell Queller. Keep Endless Marshal. History of only coming down. Yeah. Seems real bad. Yep. Okay. Huh. What is even in my list that I could potentially draw to with a cycle? They are definitely not designed to handle weenie swarms. So I could true on one of these. I think they can kill all of them, so I think I'm just supposed to create a 2/2 here. Pass the turn. Definitely don't want them getting this back with Spell Queller. Okay. So I could play Cycle Irrigated Farmland. Is equal to 4. Cycle this. Hopefully hit a 2-drop here. Hit another land. That's unfortunate. Which doesn't really do anything here. I was just hoping to hit a now if we top deck a Ballista, they're just randomly dead. Yeah, it's annoying. Gideon's dead. One is gain life, put +1/+1 counter. Might be incorrect line here, but alright, come on, hand me something good here. Alright, no attacks here. We're just dead to brave the elements at any point here, so more Ember Cleave. Definitely want the removal spells in this matchup. Not sure what else we'd want. All attacking, huh? So does this smell like an Ember Cleave? Block here. Here. Here, block here, do an Ember Cleave. Guess if you have a lot of things here, we're just dead. Do you have the Wild Slash? Okay. Okay, there's Walking Ballista. Current 1, 2. And is that a concession? Ouch. Alright, need a little bit of luck there, but we got there. So, against Knights, huh? 2G Goldfish. An aspiring veteran. Nobody's had results with Knights lately. Alright, so definitely want copies of Baffling End. Probably interested in Stasis Snare. Might be interested in Gideon. And Elsbeth Conquers Death. Cards that don't feel great in this matchup. I think Mystical Dispute isn't fantastic. The Trials is a little Like, yeah, it locks down one of their creatures, but it's not great against a bunch of their creatures. Guess you could argue Gideon of Allies Zendikar isn't great either, but it's still fine. And then what else doesn't make sense here? Knights are pretty decent. Spellcaller is decent. Daxos is a 2x is decent. Just to show you, look at the Teferi and go with the 61 card special. Yeah, hand seems fine. Play that because we definitely need the. Okay. Daxos. Okay. Gonna say hopefully they don't have history, but alright, looks like they just need the red spell here. Maybe they have another knight to go wide. Sure to not play my land drop ahead of them. Guess I'm planning on double spelling this turn, so I just get a basic plains. Got my plains, play out my advisor. That was foolish. I should have played Port Town. History. But it's another knight. Yep, pump up the jam. Okay.
So what would Walking Ballista actually kill here? If they have another Brave, we're dead. If they don't, then... the first strikers, pass turn. And I think they're... Oh, I mean, if they have Brave here, we're just dead. I mean, yep. Cool. Kind of hard to beat the double Brave Elements hand, unfortunately, with any type of board. Don't think Deicide's a particularly good card in this matchup. I get to go farmland into... yeah. Hand seems pretty decent. We do miss out on the opportunity to play Therbin Inspector here, but I think this hand in and of itself is fine. Yep, Bodyguard, sure. Go ahead. Bolster one. Okay. Tiger's Lieutenant. Mildly annoying, but... trade off here. Yep. So that is with that, sure. So we play Spell Queller here. Okay. So basically free. Basically, does our opponent have a removal spell? We're definitely not blocking with Anafenza, so we may as well swing. So worse, this is for kind of like tribunal. Sure. Dragon Lord Ojedi. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I know it's Ojutai. Okay. Sure. Fortunately, you get no spells back. See if they have any way to answer Ojutai first. Sure. Interesting. Alright, since we have less lands, I can go and get a plains. Yes. Grow basic plains. Whole bunch of mana. And you're dead. Sweet. A little bit lucky here to win against Knights, although they seem to have had a very poor draw here in game 3. So on to match number 2. We're back for match number 2 here. Is this hand to keep? Think so. Okay. Inspector, go. Okay, so looks like Sultai, perhaps. Yep, does in fact look like Sultai. And they whiff. Ouch. Alright, they had land this time. Wow. Okay. Alright, there's a Gideon of the Trials. So, opponents missed on a whole bunch of land drops. They put a bunch of stuff in the graveyard. Still don't think we're in that good of a shape, though. Traverse, okay. Presumably for our land. Okay, Uro. Sure. Turn off auto yield. Hopefully they don't have discard spell in the Uro. Alright. Just Uro, my friend. That's annoying. Okay, definitely forced the Queller out of our hand. No blocks here, I'm not triggering Fatal Push this turn. Okay. Kind of sucks that they continue to get to draw cards here, but, you know, it's fine otherwise. Boop-a-doo. It's pretty clear they have Fatal Push.
Okay. Sure. Yep, it's unfortunate. Okay. Let's go ahead and kill Chase, because I think that's like the one card. Spell colors are kind of nonsense in my hand right now. And this is definitely a rest in peace matchup. Okay, sure. So, like, what is my best hope? Heliod, or play Ballista on 2, hope to rip, Actually, I probably should have played Anafenza and then Walking Ballista. But there's always a chance our opponent doesn't have an answer, and then we rip Heliod and win the game, so. Seems unlikely, but we gotta give ourselves the Hail Mary, right? Okay, sure. Sure. I don't currently have it in my hand. If I did, I've played it first. Sure. Okay, sure. Alright, on to the next game. I guess technically we had another turn, but we were going to get there anyway. So we probably want Rest in Peace against the mostly graveyard-based deck. Elspeth Conquers Death, pretty reasonable. Gideon's pretty reasonable. Teferi's pretty reasonable. Baffling End seemed like it might be interesting. As well as Devout Decree. Spell colors are probably largely nonsense, since they have so many removal spells. Mystical Dispute is debatably reasonable. Okay, what would we cut in this case? It's just supposed to be Stasis Snare, actually. So most of the creatures we care about are fairly low on the curve. It's 3 or less, right? Yep. Stasis Snare. Does leave us more vulnerable to things like Emrakul and stuff, but I think if they get to the point where we're playing against Emrakul, I think we're in some trouble anyway. We shave an Inspector or two. And try it like that. I mean, if I'm gonna play a hand, I'm gonna play this hand, right? Like, we have the combo rolled up. They have to disrupt us in some type of meaningful way. Okay, sure. Pick the island. Okay. Texas. Sorry, Heliod, not Texas. Do you have a Thunksies? The creature enters the battlefield. Okay. Interesting. Why are you planning on attacking here? What do you have that would keep you from... Sure. So... if I understand this correctly, they are dead, correct? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap for 4 mana.
this comes down. And die to the combo. Okay. I think I like this deck. The sheer dumb factor of that, it's just kind of insane. Is there anything in that sideboard that we currently want? Maybe more of the inspectors on the draw, but they once again don't really do a whole lot in the matchup other than cantrip. I think we have enough cantrips in our deck, so 2, 5, 6, yeah. It's one of those hands where it's like, okay, do I understand this interaction correctly? Okay, I do, so you're dead. Cool. Alright, we got the combo rolled up again. Let's see if they've kind of learned their lesson here. Definitely keeping this hand. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yep. See what you got here. Got a Botanical Sanctum, sure. Okay. You have an Uro. Unmoored Ego. Naming what? Heliod? It's Walking Ballista. Okay. I honestly think Heliod's the more dangerous card, but, you know, whatevs. Devout Decree obviously isn't great, but it's okay for what we want. Yeah, start beating down. Okay, what you got on for here, friend? One, two, three. If we play Gideon this turn, so they can't Uro. Rankle's just freaking annoying. So what do you even do here? I guess sack a creature, I guess. Discard a card, whatevs. Player discards a card and sacrifices a creature. Okay. So what am I pitching here? Gideon, maybe? Okay. Okay. Interesting. Let's see if they make a copy of Pack Rat and what they pitch. Land, sure. Definitely a tight game. So we're going to get to Uro here. Presumably leaving up mana for Thoughtseize. Okay, so get to take Teferi, which is unfortunate. Well, we gotta hope Ochitai is good to us here, or we're gonna really be in some trouble. Wow. Trouble, trouble, trouble. One, two, three, four devotion. Okay, yeah, that's some problems. Ballistas to cheese them out of this game. Yep. Of course, you got something unreasonable here, right? So, turn Uro. Okay, baffling end. Do the tokens, so they're not getting it back regardless. Yep. Cool. Pack rat, untap, pack rat, we're dead. Alright. Sweet. Next two draws would have been good, but unfortunately the pack rat army in a can sometimes get there. So, on to the next match. So far we've only been through 2 matches, and I'm going to wrap up filming for this particular video because it's like 2:30 in the morning, and unfortunately I got to be up for work then tomorrow, but I'm not quite sure where I stand on a lot of the details of this deck yet, but I think this deck is really a blast to play. Like, you have this kind of mid-range beatdown playing with like 3-man inspectors and some knights and some Daxoses and stuff, and Heliod can be the center of that. Can be very powerful in terms of like, pumping up your guys, forcing your opponent between the inoffenses and the Daxoses and the knights to, really respect that kind of semi-beatdown plan, and then, your follow-up plan of like the Gideons, the Gideon allies, and the Cars, the Dragonlord Ojutais, get to play this weird like, okay, I can get ahead on the board, play these spell quellers and these Teferis, and then just play this weird tempo game with like your counter spells and stuff. And then you also have this backup plan of where you can kind of play this kind of mid-range controlling game, really leveraging things like Ojutai to kind of run away with the game. And then you always have this backup, like, just out of nowhere, Heliod Ballista combo, you're dead. I think this deck was a lot of fun. I think, if my opponent, like, tapped out for an Uro in Game 3 with that Sultai matchup, we could have potentially gotten them, could have gone Heliod into Ballista again, and then they would have had to answer things. So I think this deck's a lot of fun. I think the blue-white version is a little bit more difficult to play than the mono-white. You have a little more choices in what you're doing with your deck. But through 2 matches so far, I think this deck is really a blast to play. And while it's no Dimir Inverter combo deck, it's a lot of fun and gives you a lot of tools to fight the popular decks in the format, like Sultai, Bant Spirits, the Lotus Breach combo and the Dimir Inverter combo. So I can definitely see how people can gravitate towards this particular deck, or the mono-white version even. So we'll be back hopefully tomorrow or in a day or two finishing up this league, but I did want to give some quick thoughts on the deck. Even though we've only played 2 matches, the deck is truly a blast to play. So anyways, I'll be back later with the rest of the league. This has been John for MTG Nexus.